this is already a cliche too, right? But data is the new oil. That's one of my previous companies. A CEO would always say that, and I always liked that slogan.
Which I think he
Um,
stole from my presentation.
yeah,
I
yeah,
literally can pull the slide up
yeah.
like
I'm
that I
sharing this
used
out in your
probably
presentation. Sure.
15 years ago
All right.
that data was new oil. So I'm going to pull it up. So
Here's the problem though. Okay, that a lot of dealers have gone through, and I went through myself. There was a lot of bad data out there. It didn't. There are a lot of fly by night data providers, and once you burn somebody once, they're not going to touch the stove again. And that's a lot of what we fight right now. But I had a lesson taught to me the hard way, right? So I used to work for this company we were behavioral data pioneers. And I was in talking to an OEM VP, and they were one of the OEMs that used our data. And I'm presenting all of this data to him, and it's incredible. And I'm in love with it, right? This is 20 years ago. I'm in love with the data. I'm just like wide eyed and teary eyed looking at it. And he finally said to me, he's like, Brian, I love all this data, but now you have to tell me what the F I do with it. That's exactly what he said, his term. And it hit me like a book, like just between the eyes, right? Like I'm in here showing them all this beautiful data, and I'm not telling him what to do with it or how to use it, right? So that's the difference now, which is that you have like smart people like Todd and a bunch of other people have realized I can't just walk in and tell you to use the data or you have access to this data now. The system has to also automate it so that I'm going to get the data for you and then I'm going to execute against that data. And it's not going to be something that requires you to do anything. I don't want your salespeople going into the system and touching anything. The system has the brains now and processing power to do this without you thinking about it. And if you don't believe me, just go on Amazon.com and see what happens every single day. There's not humans there deciding what to show to you. It's a computer. It's Skynet, right?
yeah, I totally agree. I think dealerships in a lot of cases, they have limited amount of time. They're always open and willing to try new things to sell more cars.
Sure.
But, it can't change their process. And they kind of want to use the same infrastructure that they have. So I think for us, it was understanding that, okay, when we deal with those constraints, we need the CRM data, we need to get on the website, we need the DMS data, we need to aggregate that, we need to now process all of that. We need to bubble up the opportunities in a way that could feed their existing things. And that could be their agencies, right? It could be their direct mail company for some of it. It could be their BDC for the people that, hey, these people need contact like right now. It could be back to their CRM for a piece. It could be some other service they use. It's crazy. I was just talking to a dealer and I'm like, do you use your CRM to send stuff out? And he goes, well, I go build the email template and design it in some service. Then I bring it back and then I put it into my CRM and then I send it, but I don't send it to everyone. And I was like, what
Yeah.
a crazy. I was like, this guy, that is an entire 2 days of something that if you had MailChimp, it's like 36 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Like hit a couple buttons, pick my lists and I go. So I think for dealers, as Brian says, less is better and they just want the benefits of it, right? And I think dealers are not in the data business, but dealers have to start considering themselves in this business because it is the lifeblood of their business. Though inventory is important, though their facility is important, their ability to collect, organize, and understand their data is what's going to propel them. And what we've talked about today is one sliver of the data. We've talked about sales and marketing data. There is multiple layers of system of intelligence where we talk about operational data. How do contracts in transit move? How much time do things take? Like there's all the internal data that the organization is creating. Because of technology, organizations throw off so much data. Most are barely getting their arms around any of it to utilize, understand, and then optimize.